Hi, I'm Tim and I'm forgiven. This is state of emergency as far as I'm concerned. I'm in a pit that's full of vipers and it's very dangerous. I've stepped into it intentionally. I've done this for one reason. Now, my humility is not very good, so if I say that I'm doing this has nothing to do with me, then I would be a liar. I love my country. I want freedom. I want prosperity that can only be achieved in a free nation. I don't want to be buried. But it's not, I've been outside the loop because I was free to be outside the loop. I feel bound now. I feel bound by my grandchildren to get involved. My grandchildren are growing up with, the weight of the world on their shoulders. They've been buried by past politicians, current politicians, and as far as the eye can see into the future, they're buried. The logic behind debt is illogical to me. We think we can borrow. You can't borrow prosperity. I don't care about that. I don't care about the arguments that I'm hearing for or against it. You can't borrow money from somewhere you don't have. The government does not have an income. The government, we have no business borrowing money to spend. It's ridiculous. And they want to raise taxes so they can pay for programs. If they're borrowing money, they don't have to raise taxes to pay for the programs. They're creating programs and using money that's not there to help get elected. Look, I got a lot to say, and my mind doesn't work in such a fashion that I would like it to, so that I'm very effective. Taxation is not about raising money. If it was, then they would not spend money until the taxes were raised. Their spending money is not determined by taxation. Their spending money is determined by what does it get me? What do I achieve by spending money? For some people, it may look like that this spending money has nothing to do with the politicians involved. That they're free and clear of guilt and responsibility of whatever. But I don't understand. Spending money has one objective only. When it's not yours, the money is not theirs. They're taking money and shifting it. There's one reason for that. That's power. That's to establish themselves. It's self-establishment. When politicians are involved or are interested in establishing themselves, then their whole programs, their whole ideas are corrupt. If taxation was about acquiring money to give away, then the taxation would come first. Taxation is a secondary arm of the control that's involved in giving money away. There's a lot of power in giving away money. A lot of power. If I was wealthy, which I would be if good looks made you wealthy. Wealth does not come from good looks. It comes from work. A lot of hard work. A lot of devotion. Anyway, when you give away other people's money, it's a power grab. You get to manipulate the funds, and you get to be the nice middleman. And okay, so that's one arm of the power and control. You bought votes. Essentially, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. That's your intention. Anybody who sees it any other way is blind. They're blind. They're lying to themselves. Because they're not blind. They got eyes. They can see. They can look. They can think. So they're blind. They're blind in their minds because they like what you're giving them. Okay? That's one arm of it. The other arm of it is the controlling the wealth. You're setting up their money so that you have it behind you. You're using your position to control them and to control the vote outcome. So this makes you some sort of woof. And thank God that George Washington was the man that George Washington was, because he was Moses. He marched into the promised land and made everyone free, made everyone equal with the Declaration of Independence. All of our forefathers were some of them may not have been as humble as others, but for the most part, the humility that they showed, their self-control that they showed, it was such an example for today's politician. We have no politician that shows any sort of humility, self-control, and lack of a desire for power. Now, George Washington acted like he had no desire for the power. That's the way he acted. And I'm not saying he was acting, I'm saying his actions. He acted in a way that said, I am a fellow American. Mr. President, Mrs. Speaker of the House, the rest of you liberals, you don't act like you're fellow Americans. You act like you're fellow statesmen. You act like you are the state. So taxation is not about the money to give to the poor, because you'll write the laws, you'll do what you want without the money. Taxation is not about paying for the debt you incur. It is about controlling the people that have the money to pay taxes. It's about using their money to get your power. Now, I'm stepped into this pit of vipers for my grandkids. My grandkids, America we have a very short future in the direction we're going. And if people want a socialist country, they have no idea what they're talking. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what that's like. And you should go to China. You should go to old Russia. You should see Russia. You should see what communism was. You should see what China is. These countries, third world countries, you should see what they are. They are what they are because of their governments. And our government's headed down a dirty, dark